All right, let's talk about the other trig functions. So if I want to take the derivative of tangent, which I will, and if I want to take the derivative of secant. Now people are probably going, Jen, what about cosecant? Remember in a previous video, I told you that tangent and secant are married, so guess what? They still are. Okay, so the derivative of tangent is the secant squared. And the derivative of secant is secant x times the tangent of x. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Okay, memorize these glorious facts. All right, now I'm going to also show you the derivative of cotangent and the derivative of cosecant. Okay, the derivative of cotangent is the cosecant squared, but it's the negative cosecant squared. And the derivative of the cosecant is negative cosecant x cotangent x. Okay. All right. There is some actually nice patterns that happen here. All right. So you'll notice the tangent is the secant squared. We know these guys are married. The cotangent is the cosecant squared, but it's got a negative. Okay. The secant is secant x tan x. The cosecant is cosecant cotangent x, but it's got a negative. All right. So you want to memorize these, but you're probably curious, how did these come about? Like, why is this true, right? Just pick any one of them. Why is it true? Okay. How it's true is you could actually derive it using the quotient rule. So I'm going to show that right now. All right, so we're doing it. I'm going to show you right now that the derivative of the cotangent x, that we're going to get negative cosecant squared. But first, before I can do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take cotangent and I'm going to rewrite it as cosine over sine, right? That's what cotangent is, cosine over sine. Okay, now I'm going to do the quotient rule on this. So I'm going to do low d high minus high d low, square the bottom, don't touch it. Okay, so remember low and high. All right, so low d high, the derivative of cosine is negative sine, minus high d low, the derivative of sine is cosine. Square the bottom, don't touch it. Okay, we're going to clean up the top. The top is a negative sine squared and a minus cosine squared. And I'm going to break a little bit of my rule. Sine x squared is sine squared, so I'm going to clean that up. Okay, do not cross these guys off. This belongs to both pieces, okay? However, I do notice that I can factor out a negative. And if I factor out a negative of the top, it becomes positive. And we know that sine squared plus cosine squared is the same thing as 1. And I also know that 1 over sine is the same thing as cosecant. So that's how you can prove it. That's how you can show that cotangent is the same thing as negative cosecant squared x. And you can do this for tangent. You could do it for secant and cosecant. The rule is, if you want to go prove any of those guys, like if you wanted to prove tangent, that the derivative of tangent is secant squared, then you would want to start off by rewriting tangent as sine over cosine. And then go down. And if you want to prove secant, it'd be 1 over cosine. If you want to do cosecant, 1 over sine. But you could follow this whole thing using the quotient rule and our identities. All right, good luck.